In the last episode, we spent days 11 through 20 levelling up our baton skills and getting comfortable stealthing our way through POIs. We hit up the Cracker Book a couple of times to open up a lot of crafting options. We easily defeated the day 14 horde back in our original Pine Forest base, finished Gen off, and then pushed forward to the desert to set up a new home base at Town Hall, before turning this place into a horde base to hopefully get us through the next couple of blood moons. So let's pick up on the morning of day 21. We kicked off day 21 with a bit of resource gathering on the way to this POI that I've had my eye on for a little while. It's quite a good opportunity to pick up some armour and armour parts for crafting our tier 6 assassin suit that we're going to be trying to do over the course of the next few days. Just have to get past some of these zombies first. And the stun baton is doing the trick. There we have our first bit of armour that we can scrap for an armour part. Another couple of bits there. And another one there. It's tier 4, but they're not actually worth that much, so what we're going to be doing rather than sell things like that is just scrapping them for the parts. Into the main shooting range, we decided to test out some stealth with the old bow and arrow. I think I'm having more fun with the bow and arrow than I've ever had in about the last, nearly 2,000 hours of gameplay since I first got the game. But with that said, we still have to finish them off with the baton every now and again. So up to the roof we go. We're just going to have to get down into this little room here through these skylight windows. I think we'll take a different approach this time compared to the last, where we had to come back the next morning. Not even going to bother trying to kill them from up here. We'll just head down here, knock a hole in the wall or the door or something, and we'll fight them one by one at the hole that we make. Fire. Do. So after a bit of fucking around, we got into the main loot room and picked up, there's about 3 or 4 Shotgun Messiah boxes in there, and the tier 4 chest. So all in all, pretty good loot haul. Got Tools Digest here. Assassin hood we can scrap because we already got a better one. 9 sewing kits, very handy. And we're also going to be keeping an eye out for bow parts and pistol parts because I want to get an SMG crafted and I want to be able to craft the top level compound crossbow when I get to that point, and I think it's going to take a lot of parts. This little side office is great and usually got something decent up on the wall. Here we've got another farmer hat, we can scrap that. And some shoes that we can scrap for another armor part. So, funny story, I'm recording these episodes 10 days at a time, so yeah, it seems that I forgot that I hadn't decided to be scrapping all of the armor at this point, so I sold a few of those bits that I just got. Picked up another couple of those little mods for the Dew Collector. Did some more resource gathering. So we are fully on the crafting grind train now. We're going to have to try and squeeze this in between adventures. It's got to be done. It's going to be slow with the shitty tools that we've got at the moment, but like I said, it's got to be done. Anyway, back home. Let's get some concrete on the go. We're going to have to upgrade our shitty cobblestone base for the day 21 horde tonight. We'll get this shit in the forge, grab our other bollocks from outside. God, we're really loaded up. And, you know, I want to make these little bases livable and just give them a personal, homely touch. So we're going to be decorating and, you know, sorting this place out. I decided to kind of renovate the top of the town hall tower thing here. We're going to put windows in, knock out all the temporary shit, and yeah, like I said, we're just going to try and make this look all nice and cozy. But it's going to be a gradual process. First things first, let's get this day 21 horde done and dusted. We're going to try to conserve ammunition. I've had one of those nerd tats, so the stun baton's got the area effect on it now. Hopefully we can melee this for as long as possible, just like the last one. I don't see a reason why this shouldn't work out. Because it doesn't matter how strong the zombies are, they're all going to go flying if we hit them. Anyway, let's montage this shit. And that is exactly how it panned out until the dawn. Until the zombies broke through this bottom block here. Got me in a bit of a panic. I decided to pull the gun out. That was slow and shit. And then one zombie did the unthinkable and crawled through the gap that he'd made. And then another. Put the baton to work, but I didn't realise I had fuck all stamina. And I really thought this was the moment. This was the moment it's all going to go tits up. But then relief when we made it to the emergency roof. Because what it meant now is that we could do this from a safe distance. And in an instant the whole horde was worth it, because we picked up a sweet ass compound crossbow. We put 3 points into intellect, which means we actually get to level 10 now, even though we're really level 9. Because with our intellect mod that we've got in our hat, that gives us an extra 1 point, we can now max out Electrocutioner, which basically makes us a stun baton god. And we can overkill chickens too. After last night's horde, day 22 got off to a bit of a late start, but we headed over to this shitty rundown POI because it's still a tier 4, even though it looks like one of those old crappy remnants. And again we put our stun baton to the test. One final push into the loot room and the goodies will be ours. Average loot for this one, we did pick up one new piece of armour that I can't remember if we scrapped or sold it, but we got it. And after that we went to go and have a look at this little pop-up medical facility that I think is a new POI. Because I don't remember that happening before. Anyway, a few zombies to kill and then we got some loot. Another pair of gloves, nice. And then on the way home, another landmark, number 50 on Forge Ahead, which means we can craft the chemistry station. And given this, we are now really only one item away from being able to craft whatever we want, and that is the crucible that we can stick in the forge to create forged steel. But first, we're going to try and get the chemistry station done. We're just buying some acid here from the trader. But the one thing that has proved a bit more elusive than even the acid so far in this playthrough is the beaker. So that's the one thing that we're going to be keeping a special eye out for. And I thought a good place to start would be the Tri-Med group, which the trader gave us a mission for. So, I mean, I don't know what this place is, but Tri-Med group sounds medical, doesn't it? We're bound to find something here, right? What we did find was a lot of fucking zombies, I'll tell you that. Up on the roof things got a little bit hairy. Started to get a little bit overwhelmed, but again the baton came to the rescue and sent a few zombies absolutely fucking flying. The loot was okay, no beaker unfortunately. Back at home overnight we got a little bit of decorating done. Doesn't that look lovely? And then we started distributing some skill points. I decided at this point going into mining is probably going to pay off because, like I said earlier, we do need to start harvesting a lot of resources now. We're in the crafting grind phase of the game, and every little bit is going to help at this point. And then after that we continued putting some new windows into the place. I didn't have enough wood to finish the whole job, but things really are starting to come together, aren't they? So day 23 we went to turn our mission into the trader, picked up these Molotovs as our reward. And I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone by doing some buried treasure missions, knocking off some missions and gathering some clay while we're at it.
Ain't bragging if you done it. Here's your pay.
We'll take the recog for this one and get another.
I reckon you'll be living in high cotton.
And it'll be the crafting skill magazine bundle for this one. Still on the lookout for a beaker, of course, for our chem station, and this very next mission took us to the popping pills.
Well, that's better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
Rocking the new crossbow again, we got some stealth kills, and probably it's not going to be too long until we actually ditch the bow and arrow and just go fully with the crossbow. This game's really going to make us wait to find that beaker, isn't it? Oh my god. And then up we go to the roof where the main loot stash is, and it was pretty easy pickings.
check this out. I don't know what the fuck happened here, but this guy just noped out of existence. Or at least that's what I thought until I saw him roaming around downstairs a little bit later. Back up on the roof, some decent enough loot, but not what we're looking for still. So, the search for the beaker goes on. And look at that, a legendary part. These have been pretty rare so far. And it looks like whoever lived at the last party house was hoarding all of them, because we just found another. But still no beaker. I spent the night of day 23 going into day 24 driving back to the burnt forest to our first base, because I wanted to go and pick up some crafting supplies and get some armour crafted using these legendary parts. And although I do want to get that full set of assassin armour crafted as soon as possible, the one thing that I'm going to do before that is craft the hat that gives us a bartering bonus, and then I'm going to stick a cigar on it. And then hopefully if I remember to eat sugar butts before every time I go to the trader, then basically everything that he has is going to be half price. And plus he's going to give us double for everything that we sell him, which at this point I think is going to be the best way for us to get to having a crucible, because we're so many books away from being able to craft a crucible, we're going to have to buy it. So I gathered up a bunch of shit that I can sell as well to get as much money as we can. Headed out and picked up all the doobies off of one of the dew collectors. This is going to be much more useful back at the town hall. And then when we arrived back at base on day 24 in the morning, we went to go craft that ranger hat, but of course we need some bloody steel, which we don't have, so we had to get a bunch of lampposts. And finally we could craft our money hat. Now I don't know exactly what Bob was up to, but I thought he disappeared for a minute until we saw him halfway in the ground. And then of course, after we just spent 3 or 4 hours getting forged steel from lampposts, he goes and offers us 25. But anyway, here we go. We've got our money hat, making bank, selling our shit for double what it's worth, and then we will eventually buy the crucible for just 9,000 buckaroos. Wrenching cars for gas is a bit of a pain in the ass at the moment as well, so let's just buy a bit of that. Cobblestone's cheap as chips. Concrete mix, probably the most time efficient way to get that right now is to buy it. Picked up a couple of potatoes from somewhere as well, which is the bottleneck for creating the hobo stew, but I think this is the first time we managed to get a couple of those on the go. I don't know if potatoes have been nerfed in this version of the game, but I haven't been finding fucking any. We ended the day with another mission, this time at the KLZ radio, which is just a couple of blocks down the road from base. Still no beaker in the loot. But we did get a nice little stash of sewing kits, which is going to be nice for creating those armour crafting parts. That's a nice little triple pocket mod. And, of course, we are another mission closer to completing the tier for the trader. So having got that crucible, we were able to start crafting forged steel in the forge. So that's a bonus. And then we used that to get a few bits and pieces crafting in the workbench as well. A steel pickaxe was first on the menu. And I was feeling flush with forged iron as well, so we upgraded our storage. And then I used our one remaining legendary part to craft some tier 6 assassin gloves. And because we're going to be doing a lot of mining now, I decided to make a tier 5 miner helmet, which I think gives us 25% extra yield whenever we're mining. The base is looking pretty nice, but what I reckon we really need to tie the room together is a nice rug, so we'll be on the lookout for something that we can pick up on our travels. There is a bear rug in the game, but it's pretty rare, and I think I know the one place that we can get it, which is that new Red Ruby's place. We had one in our starter town, but I think I might have already picked it up and then scrapped it or trashed it, so we're going to have to find another one of those places. Anyway, day 25 started off with a trip to Bob's Paws. Now, it has been a long time since I've done this POI. Jumping down this hole made me very, very nervous, but luckily Grace was still asleep. And we've got our stealth gear on as well, so I figured we'd be able to just craft a little escape route for ourselves, just in case the shit hits the fan. Yeah, there we go. Easy. And we'll stick a couple of these up here, just in case she decides to try and jump and squeeze through that gap. And from relative safety, I think we're free to try out some of these flaming arrows that I've got and haven't used yet. And you can pretty much guarantee that if I hadn't gone to the bother of making this little position here, that Grace would have been able to get out of that little cave and fucking run around and kill us. But as it turned out, it was all a bit of overkill. Threat eliminated. And check out how much meat I actually got from this POI. 310 we ended up with. Now if only there was a fucking Pete's Potatoes POI or something, then we'd be sorted. And again, some pretty decent stuff in the loot, but still no beaker. We spent the next few hours wearing our mining hat and gathering a bit of resource out in the desert, and I don't think I'm seeing any coal in the desert, so we had to go back to the burnt forest for that. And then I spent the night just clearing out the bottom of the town hall because I realised that we're set up camp on a place that's still infested with zombies. So yeah, here we go. Stealth for the win, again. Except for that bit. So at first light we headed out into the town again to get some scrap polymers so that we could craft some steel crossbow bolts, and then I headed out to see if I could find the POI with the most beds in it, and this kind of block of apartments looked like a good candidate because we need springs, and the best place to get the most springs is beds. Now things did get pretty hairy pretty fucking quickly in here, and it turned out it was nearly the end of the series after this little fucking melee. So the loot's just in there. I'm going to try to block that door and block this little entranceway because I know the zombies are just going to spawn as soon as we open that door. And little good it did. Oh my god. What a shit show. Right, we're doing okay here, as long as the stun baton continues to perform. These fucking feral whites are an absolute nightmare. But unfortunately, I've blocked myself into a dead end here. The only way out is up that hole. And like an idiot, I have the world's most impossible block to pole up on selected in my hotbar. So, oh, let's see how this unfolds. No stamina. No bullets. Well done, Steve. Absolute panic stations. Oh my god. We're fucking trapped. Here they come. We're gonna have to make a run for it. We're gonna have to make a run for it. Go on. Go! And out we got. And yeah, once we got out into open ground, it was just a formality, really, clearing this lot up. It took a minute, but we got there in the end. Now the loot wasn't much to write home about again, but we did pick up a couple of little souvenirs to take home and stick on the wall and, you know, again, continue making our base feel a bit more homely with a couple of pictures of some dogs. But anyway, we did come away from that place with what we went in there to get, which was some springs so that we could craft a tier 4 SMG, because this pistol just is not cutting it in those hairy situations. We need something with a bit more firepower and a bit more of a rapid burst. So here is the results from the efforts of our overnight crafting. We've got a new set of tier 6 assassin boots, our SMG's ready, and we've got some new steel crossbow bolts. And I'm starting to feel a little bit more equipped, because I think this is probably the longest I've gone into any playthrough without having an automatic weapon, so I think that's pretty much a record. And yeah, look at that, we're one legendary part away from having a full set of legendary assassin armour. I cannot wait to get that 4th piece crafted and done, but day 27, at the crack of dawn, we headed next door to the Seymour Bank to start another mission. So we're going into all of these situations with the intent of being stealthy, but for some reason it doesn't take too long until we end up having to get our baton out. There's a lot of blinds in this bank as well, which means a lot of cloth, which we're going to need a lot of because we are going ham on the duct tape crafting, and cloth is actually the bottleneck for that, given that our dew collector's pumping out like 6 or what is it? No, we've got 2, haven't we? 12 clean waters every time I check them, basically. So down into the vault we go. There's a high potential for danger down here because I don't really know if there's any other way out than that ladder that we just went down. And I know that in the heat of the moment, if I have to run around and try and find the thing, I never will. So just doing our best to pick off as many of the stuff as we can. But again, I just keep fucking waking up. Okay, there's the loot room. The zombies have spawned in and they have already seen me. One quick shot with a crossbow and then we'll switch over to our SMG and give that a first good test, shall we? This is more like it. Too easy, mate. "26 days without an automatic weapon, and this really does feel like a treat now." And again, decent loot. Another 4 handgun parts there as well that we can use when we are ready to craft a tier 6 SMG, but still no bloody beaker. Now, we picked up a couple of treasure maps recently, so I headed out to go and dig those up. I know that occasionally you get a chance to get a good amount of money from them, and this, it turns out, was one of those times. 5.5 grand, look at that. And some decent loot that we can sell if we're not using it as well, like that shotgun and a couple of parts there we don't need anymore. Anyway, second one, not quite so lucky on the money, but still some decent stuff. We'll get a few quid for that back at the trader. Now, here's a place that looks like it might have a beaker or two. Dumpsy Clinic. I don't know what that's supposed to be, if it's a reference to anything, but it's a funny name anyway. So yeah, this isn't a mission. We're just, coming here on our way past. Just a good excuse to get a few kills in while we're looking for that elusive beaker. So, let's see how this goes. There's a pretty big POI this place, and yeah, quite a few zombies laying around we could pick off quite easily with the crossbow. And again, inevitably, we have to get the baton out every once in a while. But got a little bit hectic, not too troublesome. There's always a way out. We can just run back up those stairs and get back to the roof. Here, another example why the SMG kicks the pistol's ass. Look at that. No worries. Quite a few zombies later, we found ourselves down in the loot room. If ever we're going to stand a chance of finding a beaker, it's got to be here, right? And there we go. Yes, that's it. The beaker is ours. We can craft our chemistry station, and basically that means we can do whatever we want now. Crafting ammo, crafting gas, crafting steel. It's all just a matter of doing it. We've got nothing holding us back. And there we go, let's get that cooking. Day 28, started off with another quick mission at Grand Forks Estate. Up to the loot room, and look what we found. Another rando beaker. Would you believe it? These things are like buses. Back at base, chemistry station's done, so let's find a little home for that. Right there, we'll do lovely jubbly. Let's get our first lot of gas on the go, so we don't have to wrench any cars for that and waste God knows how long it takes. And we can get a little batch of gunpowder on the go as well. And if anybody can tell me how to make the fucking sound of that gas being crafted a lot quieter, then please tell me. Anyway, another quick trader run, sell some loot, make some money, get another mission on the go. We'll pick up a couple of books. I think we're a bit flush with cash now, so we can afford to buy books. We'll get some sewing kits, and this cement is an absolute bargain, so we'll get some of that. Now it is day 28, the number's red, so I thought it was about time to go over and do the repairs on the base from day 21 and upgrade some of this other stuff that we had left at cobblestone. We'll get that going to concrete just to make it a bit stronger. I don't see any real problems with this base for day 28 Horde. I think we're pretty comfortable with the baton, and we've got our nerd tats as well, so we can send the zombies flying with the area effect on the stun repulsor mod. I mean, is that overpowered? I don't know. Stamina's the issue, I suppose, and we haven't really spec'd into that. Either way, we made a quick little modification here because I don't want to get any zombies up on the roof again of the base. In the last Horde, they were starting to pile up, and so yeah, I've just put these wedges up here to prevent that happening. It's a bit of a weird structural integrity going on there, but there we go. Anyway, the rest of the day we just spent preparing for the Horde, grabbing all our shit. Earlier I learned that I read the book that makes me able to craft boxes of ammo, so I was crafting AP 9mm ammo for 80% of the cost, I think it is roughly, so yeah, 80 bullets for the price of, no, 100 bullets for the price of 80. And with that, we're gripped, we're sorted, let's kill some Blood Moon zombies. Now I thought it would be a good idea to have Punchy just off at the side here to help us keep this top bit clear and stop them piling up. But he was getting on my tits and he kept knocking the fucking zombies just before I was about to hit him myself. And so I ended up picking him up a little bit later. I don't really know what the optimal configuration is to have Punchy on Horde night because, yeah, I mean, you want the zombies coming to the fighting position so we can actually hit them. I guess maybe later as the Hordes get really, really intense, we can just use him to thin the herd a little bit just before the main fighting position. I don't know. That'll be one for later to figure out. So I could tell that the difficulty had increased quite substantially from the last Horde. Things are starting to get a little bit more overwhelming, and here I think Punchy might be partly responsible for the number of zombies that were making it through that gap and squeezing themselves through. Whatever the cause, I was definitely feeling like I had to get the guns out a bit more often this time. I'm pretty sure that using a tightrope rather than the one block wide approach to the fighting position would keep this easily manageable with melee only, but yeah, I don't know, I wanted to avoid that. Maybe as the Hordes get even more crazy later we have to revert to the tightrope, but I don't know, it is a bit cheesy. We'll have to see. Again, a very hairy moment here when this spider, I think he must have jumped across and come around from the outside, but then while I was dealing with him, somebody else squeezed themselves through. I couldn't jump up to the fucking escape route because I was reloading, down to 63 health. Like I said, pretty hairy. Zombies just fucking piling up, look at this shit. They've broken that first line of defence with the baluster rails just on the other side there, so we're doing all we can to try and keep that last one repaired. But, yeah, I keep getting spat at, keep getting hit, having to be up close to repair it. And yeah, we're living on the edge a bit here. Let's just fucking drop a load of ammo. And then, weirdly, I don't know what the hell happened here, but look at this. Instead of coming straight to me, they were like lemmings just running off to the side. Like, I couldn't hit the bastards. So yeah, I don't know. Something must have changed downstairs. Maybe a block got broken. I don't know. The power thing just went all weird and skew-whiffy, so I probably could have just stood here and not done anything and just let them circle round, but I wanted to get the kills. I needed the XP. It's a lot more awkward now, having to fight off to the side like that. But we'll do what we can. I remembered I had some exploding crossbow bolts, so I thought, why not give them a go? I think it's pretty low risk at the moment with the zombies not really trying to get to me for whatever reason. Just have a bit of fun. And that was the Day 28 Horde. And check this out. One of these loot bags, we get a very, very nice item here. Not that. Here we go. Vehicle fuel saving mod schematic. So we can craft one of those. getting around just became a hell of a lot more convenient because I don't know how much the percentage difference it makes is, but it's noticeable. So we've got 3 skill points to spend after that. We're going to put 2 into the next point of agility so that we can get archery and gunslinger up by 1 more point each. And then it's been a hectic few days, so I just spent day 29 driving around trying to find anywhere that's got some sort of croppage. Mainly potatoes is what I was interested in, and we've got a few. We've got a bunch of pumpkins we can't use really until we get a bunch more eggs. We found a mode power because you can get a lot of electricity books and stuff from these little shelves here. I haven't really explored crafting any of that stuff, any traps or the robots or anything like that. So I look forward to getting into that over the next couple of episodes, I think. So yeah, heaps more of these electricity and trap books and all that stuff. Mined for some more resources. I forgot my mining hat, so we weren't quite as efficient as we could have been. Made a few explosions. Got some more resources. And that was pretty much it for day 29. Overnight we cooked a bunch of food and got our vehicle fuel saving mod crafting in the workbench. The AP 9mm ammo is going pretty well. We've got 4 more boxes of that. And then day 30 we headed over to the fit box to finish the tier 3 missions for the trader. I think this is the final one, so we'll be able to move on to tier 4s after this. And we'll also find out where the next trader is, who's going to be in the snow. Again, the fit box was another good opportunity to test out the stealth abilities of the armour that we've got at the moment and everything, but yeah, it's 50-50. I think the benefit of having a tier 6 suit is going to be that once the zombies do aggro, we can just lose them ridiculously quickly, so it's not going to be like we're totally undetected, but once we do get detected, it's all about how quickly we can become hidden again. So, hopefully, in the next episode, we can figure that stuff out and get that full tier 6 suit going. We just need that one more legendary part. Maybe it'll be in the loot box on the top of the fit box. And maybe not. Anyway, that's done. So we went back to the trader just to confirm. I was pretty sure that this was it for the tier.
Start sitting down. Good job.
Molotov cocktails for the job. And then it turns out that we'd actually done a couple of the challenges as well. So homesteading, I can't remember what that one's actually for. Lumberjack Slayer, that's pretty obvious. Grab some mollies for that. And the Tourist Slayer. I was weighing up between the quad pocket mod and the night vision mod here, but I think that's just too valuable. We'll go for the quad pocket mod. And what a good decision that was, because our reward for completing tier 3, we managed to pick up one of those night vision mods as well anyway, so there we go, we're all set. Tier 4's starting next episode. But to round off day 30, there's one thing that I wanted to do before we got to the end of here, and that is check out this Pop and Pills factory / hospital over just 2 buildings away from home actually. I did go in, this is the first time I've used the night vision mod, regardless of whether it's the new one or the old one. I don't think I remember ever using it before in the whole game, in my whole experience. And I'll be honest, the black and white is actually pretty difficult to tell the zombies apart from the background. So we've got that off pretty sharpish and just went in as we've been going normally. I think it's probably a lot better in the dark. But yeah, using it in the daytime like this, absolutely pointless. But we carried on, got a few stealth kills. I mean, look how close you can get to these zombies. Unbelievable. Now, the way the zombies were all huddled up on the roof here, I thought for a minute, well, I got my POIs muddled up because I thought the loot would have been up here, but no, just a bunch of zombies hanging around. And then a little while later we found ourselves down in the basement where the real shit's going down. Fucking rads everywhere, exploding barrels, bodies strategically placed by the fun pimps to slow us down when we run around trying to escape what's coming around the corner. Because that is the one thing I do remember about this POI through experience, is that there's some bad shit around the corner. And that little spot here where we just opened it up, clearing off those zombies off the floor, is exactly where I've got stuck and died before running away. So we cleared it, got as many of these preliminary zombies out of the way as we could. And then we unleashed the bullshit that was on the other side of this door. Basically, open, run. That's the tactic. It actually wasn't as bad as I remember, but that feral white sprinting out of there, I mean, it could cause us a lot of shit if we're not expecting it. So anyway, this is the loot room. We made it to the loot room, and we managed to pretty much stealth our way around. That door unleashed a few of these chemistry guys, but we took those out pretty easily. They're just regular difficulty zombies, I think. So with those guys out of the picture, we just stealth killed our way all the way to the bank. I've never seen such garbage in 2 popping pills boxes before in my life. Let's see what's in the biggie. And that is a very nice amount of loot. Got plenty of armour there that we can scrap down to parts. We've got a treasure map that's got the potential to be quite valuable, and yeah, just some general good shit. And that, as they say, is that. Join us next time for day 31 to day 40. Thanks for watching. See you then.